The psychology of nostalgia. Why our past feels better than reality. Close your eyes for a moment. Think of a time in your life that feels safe. Maybe it's childhood summers, a song from your teenage years, a late-night conversation that meant everything, a place that doesn't even exist anymore. Notice what happens inside you. Your chest softens, your breathing slows, a quiet warmth appears. That feeling, that is nostalgia. And today we're going to explore why the past often feels better than the present, and sometimes even better than the future. Not because it truly was better, but because of how your mind works. Part 1. What nostalgia really is. Most people think nostalgia is just missing the old days, but psychologically, it's much deeper. Nostalgia is an emotional memory state. It's when your brain reconstructs the past in a way that comforts you, stabilizes you, and gives you a sense of meaning. It's not a replay. It's a story your mind tells itself, and that story is carefully edited. Like a movie director cutting out boring scenes, awkward moments, and painful details, your brain removes what doesn't fit the emotional message. What remains is a highlight reel, a polished version of your life, and it feels real. Part 2. Your brain is not a recording device. Here's the first uncomfortable truth. Your memory is unreliable. You do not remember events as they happened. You remember the last time you remembered them. Every time you recall a memory, your brain rewrites it. It adds emotions, it removes details, it reshapes meaning. Over time, your memories drift. They become more symbolic than factual. That childhood home becomes safety. That old relationship becomes innocence. That past version of you becomes purity. Not because that's what it was, but because that's what you need it to be now. Part 3. The peak-end illusion. Psychologists discovered something fascinating. We judge experiences mostly by two moments, the peak and the end, not by the average. So when you remember a period of your life, your brain highlights the happiest moment, the most meaningful moment, the emotional ending, and ignores the rest, the boredom, the confusion, the anxiety, the waiting, the loneliness. Those disappear. So your teenage years feel magical, even if you cried yourself to sleep half the time. Your college days feel free, even if you were stressed constantly. Your simpler times feel peaceful, even if you were scared and uncertain. Your brain remembers the peaks and erases the valleys. Part 4. Why nostalgia intensifies during hard times. Notice something important. You become more nostalgic when life is difficult, when you feel lost, overwhelmed, uncertain, lonely, unstable. Suddenly, you miss the old days. That's not random. That's psychological self-defense. Nostalgia is your mind's emotional shelter. When reality feels unsafe, your brain retreats to memory, to a place where you already survived, you already know the ending, you already understand your role. The past feels controllable, the present feels chaotic, so your mind chooses safety. Part 5. The illusion of simpler times. People often say, life used to be simpler, but was it? Or were you just less aware? As a child, you didn't know about debt, politics, mortality, existential anxiety, global crises, career pressure. Your world was small, not simple. Small. Your parents carried the burden, your teachers guided the structure, your routines were built for you. You weren't free, you were protected, and protection feels like peace. So later, when life becomes complex, your brain calls that protection simplicity. But it wasn't simplicity, it was dependence. Part 6. Identity and the golden self. Nostalgia is not just about places and times, it's about who you were. Most people secretly believe, my best self existed in the past. Maybe you were more hopeful, more energetic, more social, more confident, more curious. So you start comparing current you versus past you, and current you always loses. Why? Because the past version isn't real anymore. It can't fail, it can't disappoint, it can't make mistakes. It's frozen in memory, perfected. Meanwhile, present you is alive, messy, uncertain, incomplete. So nostalgia becomes self-criticism. I used to be better. I lost something. I'm not who I was. But you didn't lose yourself, you evolved, and evolution feels like loss when you resist it. Part 7. Social nostalgia and collective memory. Nostalgia isn't only personal, it's cultural. Every generation believes we had it better. Music was better, movies were better, people were kinder, life was real. This happens because societies remember selectively too. We forget discrimination, poverty, lack of rights, limited opportunities, social silence, and remember community, style, shared moments, cultural identity. So the past becomes a fantasy nation, a place that never fully existed, a psychological homeland. Part 8. Nostalgia as emotional medicine. Here's the surprising part. Nostalgia is actually healthy, in moderation. Research shows that nostalgia reduces loneliness, increases self-esteem, strengthens identity, boosts optimism, creates meaning. When you remember good moments, your brain says, I have lived, I have loved, I belong. It reminds you that your life matters, that you've had real experiences, that you're not empty. So nostalgia isn't weakness, it's emotional nourishment. But like medicine, too much becomes poison. Part 9. When nostalgia becomes a trap. Nostalgia becomes dangerous when you live in it, hide in it, escape into it, compare everything to it. Signs of unhealthy nostalgia. You avoid new experiences, you constantly revisit the past, you romanticize old relationships, you fear change, you resist growth. You start thinking, nothing will ever be that good again. That belief is a lie, a comforting lie, but still a lie. Because the future has not happened yet, you cannot measure what you haven't lived. Part 10. Why the present feels so underwhelming. Why does now feel boring compared to memory? Because you are inside it. You don't feel the story, you feel the friction, the waiting, the frustration, the uncertainty, the repetition. Memory removes friction. Life includes it. You only see the beauty of today later. Years from now, you'll miss this version of you, this phase, this struggle, this environment, even if you hate it right now. That's the irony. You're living someone else's nostalgia. Your future self is watching this moment and wishing they could return. Part 11. Nostalgia and mortality. At its deepest level, nostalgia is about time, and time reminds us of death. When you feel nostalgic, you are sensing, I am moving forward. I cannot go back. This moment is gone. It's grief, quiet grief, for versions of yourself that no longer exist, for moments that will never repeat, for people who changed, for places that vanished. Nostalgia is love mixed with loss. Part 12. How to use nostalgia wisely. So what do you do with it? You don't suppress it, you don't worship it, you integrate it. Here's how. 1. Appreciate without escaping. Let memories warm you, not imprison you. 2. Learn from your past self. What made you alive then? Bring that energy forward. 3. Create future nostalgia. Live now in a way you'll miss later. Be present, be intentional, be brave. 4. Stop comparing eras. Every season has beauty and pain. 5. Honor change. You are not meant to stay the same. Growth is loss and gain together. Part 13. The hidden message of nostalgia. Every time you feel nostalgic, your mind is saying, this mattered. This shaped me. This was real. It's proof that your life has depth, that you didn't just exist, you lived, and you're still living. Conclusion: the past was not better, it was different. So let's end with this truth. The past feels better because it's finished. It has no unanswered questions, no risks, no uncertainty. But life happens in uncertainty. Meaning happens in uncertainty. Love happens in uncertainty. Growth happens in uncertainty. The present is uncomfortable because it's alive. The past is beautiful because it's dead, preserved, safe, still. So honor your memories, thank them, learn from them, but don't live inside them, because your greatest moments are not behind you. They are waiting in places you haven't reached yet.